Good morning, everybody. Now that my cats have decided to stop beating the crap out of each other, I thought I'd pop on quickly and just talk about a question I've been seeing on our private pages quite often, and that is, can you be diagnosed with Crohn's disease after getting a J pouch for ulcerative colitis? The answer to that question is yes, you can. I put a survey out before Christmas asking that question, and out of the 74 people that responded, almost 50% of us were diagnosed with Crohn's disease. 74 people is not a lot of people, I understand that, but the stories I'm hearing of people who have now been diagnosed with Crohn's is actually like quite a few. I don't want to burst bubbles. I don't want to panic people, because that's not what this is about. It's just about gathering information. Myself, I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis when I was 23 in 1995, and in 2005 is when a specialist told me that if I had my colon removed, I would be cured of ulcerative colitis. Remicade was available at the time. He didn't even try it. He told me I was too far gone for that. I did not do research. I was not a nurse yet at the time. I just trusted my specialist. I didn't get a second opinion, something I'll regret for the remainder of my days. However, getting a J pouch gave me 6 beautiful years where I felt amazing. I've been in the best shape of my life. I literally felt better than when I was a teenager. So I'm not saying that getting a J pouch is necessarily a bad thing. I don't know what would have happened if I, still had my colon. So so I had my first surgery in 2005, started nursing school in 2011, and within 2 months of nursing school, I was dealing with pouchitis, one bout after another. This went on until I got an anal abscess December of 2013, and then a diagnosis of an anal fistula in February of 2014, surgery for the fistula in August of 2014. Yes, there was 6 months in there, but I decided to take my boys to Africa to do a little bit of a mission trip with a fistula. Sometimes I'm in denial, I think. So August, I had my seam stitch inserted. October of 2014, I was finally put on Humira. Crohn's diagnosis, October 2014, put on Humira. And great news is that once I was put on Humira, I was literally in remission and feeling good again by February. That's my message today mostly, is ask a lot of questions. Ask your specialist so many questions. Ask them straight out, what are the chances that I could end up with Crohn's disease even though you removed my colon? Ask them that. I have an appointment with my specialist this next week, and it is a question that I've been meaning to ask her, whether there's any research being done out there about the whole Crohn's thing, because it's not a cure. Removing somebody's colon and then them being diagnosed with Crohn's disease is not a cure of gastrointestinal disease. So, and then if you are dealing with pouchitis, and your specialist tells you that you have chronic pouchitis, please have them investigate you for Crohn's disease. It is a fecal calprotectin, some lab work. Make sure that they do a pouchoscopy and that they scope past your pouch, that they take biopsies of your pouch and send it in for a culture, like send it in to be checked for Crohn's disease. And really evaluate the stress in your life. I strongly feel like the stress from nursing school, and then once I became a nurse, the shift work, like days, nights, evenings, weekends, 12 hours, constantly 12 hours till I moved to community where it became 8 hours. I feel like that definitely played a big role in the decline of my health. Stress is terrible for any autoimmune disease. So I know it's hard for us to reevaluate what stress we have in our lives, but I do feel like that played a big role, a huge role in my Crohn's diagnosis. Also, I was thinking about it the other day, and I wonder, I had a Mirena IUD put in like the month of my burst pouchitis flare. So of course I started, kind of trying to figure out whether maybe it was hormonal. However, I've noticed that there are men who also have now been diagnosed with Crohn's disease. So I don't know if hormones have anything to do with it, but it is our job to do a full assessment of our lives and be like, okay, where could this maybe be coming from? And we owe that to ourselves. We owe it to ourselves to sit down and go, how can I make my life better? What changes can I make? Be it nutrition, exercise, job change, stress relief in some way. So that is all I wanted to talk to you about today. Ask your specialist about the possibility of Crohn's prior to starting your J-pouch surgeries. I'm not saying don't get a J-pouch. That is my disclaimer. I am not saying that. I'm not saying your specialist is trying to lead you astray. All I'm saying is advocate for yourself, ask questions, and go into it with your eyes wide open. Have a great day.